Got a little burnt the other day. Hello good yo-yo people, I'm Nate and this is Let's Talk Yo-Yo. Today I have a review for you from Dr. Popular. Today I'm reviewing the Weekender. If you don't know anything about the Weekender or Dr. Popular, he had a Kickstarter for this. I backed it on day one. If you don't know about this, it was a Kickstarter. You can actually now find them on Dr. Popular's website as well. But he started on there. He's done some Kickstarter projects before. So this is a responsive metal. All right, he had these machined at one drop. If you don't follow Dr. Popular, you can go back and look at some of his videos and kind of journeying where this yo-yo came about and even why it was called the Weekender, because that's essentially it. He created this yo-yo with one drop, kind of guiding through it in a weekend. So he visited Eugene, Oregon and did it all within that time and was able to leave with a prototype and ready to go with the Kickstarter. So this is the final product, and man, I tell you what, I'm so happy to have it. I love responsive play. I think it's a fun challenge. I think it opens up opportunities to do tricks that you really can't even do with unresponsive yo-yos. And so I encourage you, if you are only an unresponsive player and you are looking for a responsive yo-yo, this is a really good start. There's a couple other really good yo-yos out there too that are responsive, but the market's pretty small for responsive metal yo-yos. And you know, for most people to go responsive means to kind of go without a bearing typically. But this is what a modern responsive yo-yo looks like. This is a perfect example of that. So let's talk about it and why I think it's so great. First off, how light it is. I mean, the inspiration, I try to remember which yo-yo it was, but it was a custom yo-yo. So if you're familiar with custom, I love their yo-yos. Back in the day, I had quite a few of them. And then I'm not sure where they are anymore. They're probably in my parents' attic somewhere. But custom yo-yos were really famous for their metal yo-yos, really cool, really unique designs, and very, very light yo-yos. And so this is very light. You'll see the full specs in the description there, but man, crazy light. So that's really great for a responsive, because the heavier it is, if you're doing modern responsive tricks like stalls and things like that, that weight can really be a detriment as far as those type of tricks are concerned. You really don't want it to be super heavy, but you don't want it to be so wispy light that it's just kind of flying all over the place. And we'll talk a little bit more about that on the string section, but man, right in the hand, it feels just right. It's a great size, it's a nice narrow profile. It has a high wall, which is very classic for a responsive yo-yo. It's got very high wall, so it's gonna be great for something like kick flips and so on. The best thing it has going for it, as far as responsive play, in my opinion, is the A-size bearing. That's crucial, I think, for a responsive modern yo-yo. You can get a C-size bearing, you can lube that up, or you can recess it, or something like that. But I think the diameter of an A-size really is beneficial for responsive play. You just get a little bit more control with it. There's more science going into that, but I'm not going to bore you with that, but you can figure that out on your own if you're really interested in looking that up. Let's take a look at the unique engravings on here. Isn't that awesome? These are custom engravings that were designed just for that artwork on there. So that was kind of a surprise. The initial pictures that were on the Kickstarter were not that. They didn't show any engravings at all. Let me go ahead and show you what's in there. So you have, these are Chaz pads. Well, the ones in here aren't. Are these Chaz pads? No, these are not. But they would take the same size. But yeah, great. Super high wall. You can see that. Man, it's great. No smooth ring, nothing like that. And then this A-size bearing is super lubed up, greased up. So it's not going anywhere. It's not free spinning if you just kind of flick it. So the response is going to be just where you want it. It's going to be a great shape for, you know, the width of it. I love the Corco 650B. That's been kind of my go-to, and I still love it. It's great. But one thing that's nice about this is that more traditional butterfly type shape that's going to rest a little bit better, a little bit flatter on things like hand stalls and so on. So I think as far as what you're looking for with modern responsive tricks, anything from stalls to kick flips to hands, back of the hand stalls, this has got it going on. So let's go ahead and actually play it and have some fun with it and see how it actually plays on the string. All right. All right, welcome back to the on the string section with the Weekender. Man, yeah, I was talking about the weight of this yo-yo in the hand section, and like I said, it's just right. It's going to be able to give you long enough spin times to do some really cool modern day tricks, but at the same time, it's not. It's on a stall, for instance, it's just going to land exactly where it needs to, and that. Man, for stalls, it just locks right in there. For even like loops and things like that, it's a great shape for that. Man, you know what? This yo-yo, man, it has so much fun factor to it. I think that's what's awesome about responsive yo-yos too. If you don't have one in your collection, you're really missing out on what, the fun aspect of this hobby is. Where at the same time, oops, that's interesting. At the same time, as fun as this is, and you can kind of just sit there and play with it traditionally, it's also going to be challenging in a whole new way because of certain tricks that you're going to be chasing that, just aren't your standard tricks that you can do with a responsive yo-yo. For instance, like this is one I've been trying to land where it's back of the hand. Let's see if I can try it again. I would say the one trick that maybe this shape isn't ideal for is doing aerials, but I'm also not really good at aerials. So, yeah, I can't even seem to get a turn. A lot of times the gap that's a little bit more flared out tends to work a little better than a high wall, but it works really well for something like kick flips, or keeping that. See, I can turn it then. And some of that might just because I'm kind of weak with this trick. See, I turned. It's fine. It's fine. It just may not turn quite as well. Come on. I love. That's really what responsive play is for me. Chasing certain tricks, like there's just a gratification whenever you land something like a kick flip for the first time, or something like that, or something, more complicated. Just captures really well. Again, that high wall and that A-size bearing is great for any kind of stalls. It just kind of locks in without it feeling like it's giving a lot of kickback. That weight on that is also contributing to that. So, like I said, man, this is going to become the model, in my opinion, for what responsive modern metal yo-yos should be aiming for. I think there's some great options out there, but man, this is my favorite right now. All right, so yeah, I mean, I can't really do a lot of the standard tricks I would normally do for a unresponsive yo-yo. It's not really fair to do like lots of bearing wraps and things like that because this yo-yo just isn't designed for that. It's designed to do modern responsive tricks. I think the one place that, just because of the shape of it, with a really high wall, aerials aren't always the easiest, but they're not impossible. But things like kick flips, holding that string in, man, for any kind of stall, it's fantastic. That light weight just kind of allows you just to kind of be able to push this yo-yo and have just great maneuverability, and be able to kind of change up the pace quite a bit with this yo-yo. So, man, I love this yo-yo. Anything from Dr. Popular is fantastic, but this might be my favorite thing that he's ever done, just in my opinion. It's super cool. It's a lot of fun, but it also is going to be challenging for you if you don't have a responsive yo-yo. This is the way to go. This is a really good starting point for you. So, all right, that's going to do it for my review of the Weekender by Dr. Popular, and as usual, good day and good yo-yo.